we are on. So, we are gonna start. And you guys find yourselves in Arkham. You guys have your characters, everything is ready. And ultimately, Arkham seems to be fairly peaceful nowadays. Nothing too crazy seems to be happening. I want to say that by now it is definitely. We can go with today's date, September 19th. We can say that is 1923 for the sake of the game. For the last couple months, everything has been peaceful. Nothing has been uber crazy or anything like that. No threats to anything have happened. I guess nothing has gone very crazy that you guys have noticed or that it has been big news. Ultimately, you guys get a letter in the mail. The letter states the following. It says, to whoever it may concern. This is I want to be able to provide you with the best opportunity of your life, and at the same time with the best time ever. You shall be able to embark in an adventure of no comparison. Nothing that you have done in your life will fulfill you as much as this will. I like to welcome you to read this letter and to invite you to come over for a visit at my office, in which I can discuss this opportunity in a more lengthy fashion way, in more detail. I will be happy to pay you for your time, for coming to see me. And if you do choose to continue on with this adventure and help me, I will definitely pay you for your troubles. You will be reimbursed. Keep in mind that this is an adventure of a once in a lifetime type thing, and you should not discuss this with anyone else, as most likely people will think that you're just deluded, or they're just not going to take you seriously. And if they do take you seriously, they're just going to be laughing or just not necessarily believe in you. You know, it just sounds too good to be truth, you know. But to each their own. Anyway, I leave you my address, and I do hope to see you soon enough. Signed, Mr. Joseph Morrow. And I need just a second. I will be right back.
So what character would see your character's occupation?
I'm a doctor that works in a morgue.
I chose my character to be a nurse. But, you know, in a normal hospital, not the morgue.
I mean, he technically works as a forensic, but that just means that he's working in a morgue, so yeah, he's technically working in a morgue.
Right. Definitely didn't see that one coming. And is he good at combat, or?
Well, he's decent when it comes to punching, and and when it comes to shooting things,
She,
he has a handgun, which is good, and he has improvised flamethrower made out of spray can and lighter. Just we can, Keeper and I cannot really agree on what I'm supposed to roll for it, because first time I used it, he said to just roll brawl, but now he wants to switch it to a rifle.
I don't think that's a. That sounds more like explosives roll, if anything, to the fact that it's, fire. If that makes any sense, but
But it's technically not explosive.
right. I guess that'd be there's no improvised weapon rolling, is there?
All right, I'm back.
No, but it's
Is what?
generally up to Keeper to decide, but sometimes Keepers have trouble deciding.
I'm sorry. What are we trying to decide?
What he should do for his homemade thrower.
Well, when we were discussing today about your flamethrower, I was trying to explain to you, and I know that through text is a little bit complicated to understand, so let me explain to you what I meant about what I was trying to tell you today. So, if you look at a flamethrower, and I'm not talking about the can, I'm talking about right now at a regular flamethrower, something that is just one whole thing, right? One weapon.
It's a rifle.
Right.
It's a rifle, yeah.
Right. So if you look at a flamethrower is just one item, meaning that when you command that flamethrower, when you use it, you just push a trigger and the thing works, because that's all it requires you to do, just to push a trigger. However, when you're using a spray can and you're also using a lighter, those are two different things. Now, there's a couple of things that you can do. If you want, you're more than welcome. Hold on. If you want, you're more than welcome to roll mechanical repair and see if you can invent or create something that will mix those things together and make them one thing. And then from that point on, if you pass that, you can just roll one thing. However, if you don't pass that roll, you're still forced to roll two things, because first you have to light up the fire, and then you have to spray the can for the can to do the flamethrower effect. Because ultimately, the lighter is not what does the flamethrower effect. And that's what I was trying to explain to you today. When you're making a homemade flamethrower with just a spray can and a lighter, you're using two different things. You're not mixing them. In order for you to mix them, you have to create something else. And that something else, you're more than welcome to create it. You just got to pass the roll to create it. Otherwise, you're forced to roll two rolls, because a flamethrower is one thing, but a spray can shooting fire with a lighter is two things.
Yeah, but thing is that previously when I used it with those tigers, you said to just roll.
Right. All I told you right now this time is that you're more than welcome to use a flamethrower. All you need to do is, because in order to make it accurate, and I don't know what I did before, but in order to make it accurate, you have two different probabilities to fail that. Really think about it. The first thing you got a probability to fail is lighting the lighter. having the lighter to light up,
Yeah,
right?
but how does one fail to light the light?
Okay, so that's the first thing you gotta pass. The second thing you gotta pass. Hold on. The second thing you gotta pass, once the lighter is open, right? You have to press the can, and it shoots off. And by rolling on the can, over there you put whether the can works, it doesn't have any gas, or whatever it is that happens to the can. But the first thing you need to do is roll up the fire. So the choices that I'm giving you are roll mechanical repair and create one whole weapon that does everything for you. It automizes the weapon to where you just do whatever. You can say that you created a handle for the weapon, and you just press one button, or you just pull a trigger, and the flamethrower goes. Or the other option is for you first to light up the lighter and then shoot spray with the can.
What will roll for either of those because none of those make sense to roll.
Well, it does, especially if you're talking about if you're talking about smoking lighters. If you're talking about smoking lighters, and let's not even talk about 1920s lighters. Let's just talk about, I don't know, 1920s, even 2000 lighters, even lighters from today that you can buy at a gas station. Those lighters, unless they are electric, which, let's be honest, back in the day in the 1920s, there were no electric lighters. And when I'm talking about electric lighters, is about electric starter lighters, not electric lighters themselves. But back in the day, the lighters that were made out of this little rock, right, that will produce a spark, and it will create the flame, and the lighter will light up. Even the best lighter ever will still have a chance to miss. And that's what I'm saying. When I told you today that you could roll it, I said you can roll your luck, or you can create yourself a skill in your sheet that is the lighter, and you can just add whatever points there that you have available, and you can roll the lighter. The lighter comes up, lights up the can, the spray on the can, and you just shoot it off. But pretty much,
I mean, I have one more. I have one more option.
okay.
I can just say my character went.
I'm sorry, you can see your character what?
That my character
Mm-hmm.
just went and paid someone to make a contraption for it.
You can do that too. Yeah. More than welcome to do that too. By all means.
Although that would create a lot of problems with police stuff.
Well,
How do you explain
if you were
carrying around
an inventor, hey, that's your thing. And technically, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to carry around a flamethrower. Because obviously, we know that an army's flamethrower will take a lot of room to walk around with, right? Flamethrowers are big. In some cases, you even need a backpack to have one. That's how big they are. Right. However, since you are making something homemade that is probably not going to have nowhere near the range of an army flamethrower, it's just going to be something that works with a spray can. Obviously, it's not going to be that big. It's going to be probably a little bit bigger than the spray can themselves. So it's not going to be that big. You can always carry a backpack around and carry the flamethrower. That will be a good excuse as to how to have the flamethrower.
Yeah.
Okay, then you're set.
Couple of always to have something I can pull out quickly and just use it as a close range emergency weapon.
Right. So all I'm saying to you, Arlian, is that whether you roll something every time you use it, or you roll mechanical repair and you create it, or you can even roll your luck, or actually, let's not even roll your luck. We can roll your education for all that matter. And that way to see if you know anybody that was an inventor of that type that could probably put those things together, and then at that point you can use it as a weapon. That will be up to you if you paid him or not, or how did you get that person to build you such thing. However, we have to concentrate on the fact that you are not an inventor. So because you're not an inventor, you have to roll the mechanical repair and create something.
Or, I mean, I can also just ask the nearest mechanic.
You can do that too. You can pay the mechanic. You can pay an inventor to make you that. Yeah, no problem.
Just gotta help being a narc or something.
Yeah, you just gotta, you just can't come up with two different random things that they don't necessarily have anything to do with each other and say, well, I'm just gonna do one roll for both. I get that the main goal is to have them work together, but technically you are using two different things. You're using first one turn to light up the fire and then another turn to shoot the can. Even if it seems instant, but it requires for two things to work, not for one thing to work. That's what I'm saying. So because it's two items that are working together, shooting, then it requires you to do two things. That's why I'm telling you that whether you invent some sort of contraption that makes those two things one thing, or you're going to have to roll two different things in order to use it. Better yet, I'll give you the best example. I don't know if you're a gun owner or if you ever shot a gun, and I'm not talking about an automatic gun. And I'm not talking about an automatic gun. I'm talking about a regular, semi-automatic gun, regular gun. If you take a shot with a gun, okay, perfect, perfect. If you shot a gun, if you shot a regular gun that has not been worked on, nothing has been changed on it, then you know that you take a shot and you cannot continue shooting unless you cock the gun back, the empty shell comes out and it loads another shot, and then you take the next shot, right? Well, that requires two different things to do. So what I'm trying to tell you is the same exact thing. You're doing two different things. Only that in Call of Cthulhu, we don't have those guns yet. Over here, you're using older guns. So therefore, we're assuming that every time you shoot, that happens. That's cool. The rules allows you to do that. But when it comes to everything else, when it comes to putting two items together that they don't normally work together, but you just want to use them for a personal goal, which is defending yourself, you do still need the fire to come up first, and you still need the spray can to spray whatever you're spraying. And don't get me wrong, you can even if you do a mechanical repair, or if you do or if you want to roll luck, or if you want to roll education and see if you know anybody, if you have a friend that can create something like that for you, you can even go as far as to say that you're bettering that item and say that it's no longer a spray can. Maybe it is a, I don't know, a gas can. One of those tanks. Of gas. That will get you more uh, than just a spray can. But ultimately, something's got to happen. You just can't come up out of your ass, with it and say, yeah, I just do this with it, just out of a spray can in a lighter. Does it make any sense?
So yeah, but I mean, no. But also yes.
Okay. So all I'm trying to say is that what makes sense is the fact that we're talking about two items that you're using. That makes sense. You're using two items to create one effect, which is fire. But not just fire, shooting fire. As far as the spray can allows you to go. Right? The spray can on its own cannot allow you to shoot fire. You need the lighter. And the lighter on its own does not allow you to shoot fire. It only lights fire up and that's it. So you need those two things to work together. So what I am telling you is that when it comes to you using those things together, you have to come up with a plan for it. Whether A, you do a roll in which you create some sort of device that allows you to mix those things together, like create a new weapon type, homemade weapon type, and then therefore you can just do one roll and those two things will happen seamlessly, automatically, and you will just use that item. Or B, you can do another roll to see if you know someone else that allows you to invent that item or invents it for you, and you still can do that one roll to use that item. Or 3, you end up rolling 2 rolls, one to light up the fire and the other one to use the can, to use them together, and then you get to spray with them.
Wait, won't that just be reload action?
So what?
Reload. Do you know how every gun
Well, that
says,
really depends.
Reload needs
Well,
needs
that
to
really
perform
depends.
after fight?
That really depends. And I'm going to explain to you why. We're not necessarily talking about bullets here. We're talking about a spray can. So, because we're talking about a spray can, we're talking about a spray can. A spray can would allow you to shoot for, provided that you continuously shoot, it would allow you to shoot for so many seconds or minutes, because you ultimately shoot until it's empty. Once it's empty, there's no reload. There's just, you got to throw that can away and get another can or you're done. Right? So, right. So, ultimately, the spray can also, it only allows you to hit people that are relatively close to you. You cannot shoot as far as a handgun can. So therefore, you're going to be limited to use it with people that are fairly close by to you. Like almost on your face. Maybe 2 to 3 steps away from you. But that's about it. So because you are dependent on the fact that somebody needs to be that close to you, I want to say that you can use that gun for maybe, I don't know, 3-4 rounds. Because really, let's be honest here. Let's be honest. If you're standing up somewhere, you have a lighter and you have a can of spray, and you're going to flamethrow that thing, and somebody's there to attack you, are you going to let go of that can the moment that, are you going to shoot only one time, or are you just going to keep going until the silence goes away? What are you going to do?
That was sort of kind of understand.
Right. So you're going to keep shooting until that person goes away. Right? You're just going to try to inflict as much damage as possible. If you already do it, might as well just go for it. Otherwise, if you're just trying to scare somebody, You don't necessarily wait until somebody's that close to you. You just spray it out, showing them that that you can do fire, and you just scare them off. But if you're really trying to hurt somebody, you're not just gonna do and that's it. You're actually going to keep going on and burning their face off. Okay, well, let's think about how long a can lasts. Okay, so a can, I want to say that what a can, if you hold it down, it may take what?
If I hold it
If you take if
down, can take about 30 minutes to. If it's a full can with a pressure from 1920, it's about 30 minutes to an hour.
30
Depends on the size of
minutes
the can.
for a spray can?
They last
Yeah.
a long time.
A spray can?
Yeah, spray can, depending on the size of a spray can, type of chemical inside, spray can go up to a 30 minutes because not all spray cans shoot at the same speed.
Okay. Well,
And
we can.
the smaller spray cans can last for about 10 seconds, while the bigger ones or the ones with flammable substance inside it, they're meant to keep that flammable substance. Since you use it, usually oil or gas of some sort.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
They,
What's the longest that you would say a spray can will go for?
if you're looking at the average, I'd say about.
No, not the average.
Because if you,
Not the average. I'm asking you, what's the longest you would say a spray can will go for?
as a flamethrower, about
Yeah.
5 seconds before it explodes.
Okay, but no, what I'm saying is, what's the longest you think you will be able to press the button down till it empties out?
5 to 10 seconds before it explodes in your face.
So, and I'm not talking about fire.
Literally.
I'm not talking about using it with fire. I'm talking about you have a spray can and you just keep pressing the button down until it's completely empty. How long would you say that will take?
A good couple of minutes, honestly.
Like what? Would
Depends
you
on
say
the
10 minutes?
time
Would you
and
say
the
5 minutes? Would you say 20 minutes?
I personally don't use that, but haven't used it before. But I do know that they do last more than like a couple seconds, as you would say.
Okay. So let's
there's
be
a lot.
let's be good here. Let's go on your guys' side. So let's say, just for the sake of talking about a 1920 spray can, that it may be built in a better way with better chemicals and blah blah blah. Maybe not healthier chemicals, but chemicals that do last. So let's say that a spray can will last you up to 5 minutes, right? So go ahead and roll 1d5. See how long a spray can will last you. Because ultimately that's what we're talking about here. That you're going to go ahead, you're going to keep it down, burning somebody's face down. See how long it will last you the average can. And then if you happen to fail that roll when you shoot it, then obviously you don't shoot anything. However, if you do happen to fumble it, then at that point we can say that your can's exploded. Will that work for you?
Give me a second. I don't remember one thing. If you don't have it in the head, ask the Google.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
I'm just saying. I think this will be the easiest way to go about it. We roll a 1d5. We see how many minutes will give you. We'll roll a 1d5. We see how many gives you. Okay, we see how many minutes it gives you as an average. Then we use that as a length of use of the can, meaning that you can hold it down for up to 5 minutes. or 3 minutes, or 2 minutes, whatever it tells you. And then, at that point, you can decide what you do. If you go ahead and you create your one thing that you can only roll one thing, or you need still to roll two things. But then if you fumble, you blow up the can. And once you blow up the can, you just take the consequences of whatever can happen depending on your luck and how bad your luck is. I think that will be fair.
Most aerosol cans, the average size aerosol can last for about 20 seconds before they're empty.
Okay, 20
In
seconds.
1920.
All right, 20 seconds. So let me be kind to you. Let me be kind to you. Okay, let me be kind to you and give you 60 seconds. I'm going to give you 60 seconds. As your GM, I tell you that your cans are special enough that will last you 60 seconds. So now, out of those 60 seconds, we're going to roll an average. Because, one can lasting you 60 seconds doesn't mean that every can will last you 60 seconds. So go ahead and roll a 1d60. Let's see what realistically your rolls tell you that your can will last you. Because ultimately we have to do everything by the rolls anyway. Okay, so a can will last you 50 seconds. Go ahead and we can say what? That each use of the can will give you five rolls. So would you say that holding that down for 10 seconds, burning something, you will cause enough damage to let it go? I mean, 10 seconds is a really long time to hold down the button of a can, burning something down, right?
Yes.
Okay. So then we're going to say, based on that, we can say that every single turn, right. So based on that, we're going to say that every single turn that you take shooting that can will take 10 seconds. So every attack of yours will allow you to hold that can down for 10 seconds. Give me just a second.
Sorry for taking up this much time, guys.
Oh, it's fine. This is just a weird thing that doesn't really come up normally, in the 1920s.
Right. We need to figure it out how to give you a proper amount of time shooting, what your damage is going to be based as, because it's not a weapon you're using, it's something that you're just coming up with. So
you actually gave me those numbers.
Right. So ultimately, we're going to say that your spray can. Right. So ultimately, no, it's not gonna be brawl because you're not hitting anybody. You're burning somebody, and let me tell you what, the damage of the spray can is a different type of damage because you're doing damage over time. Also, you're not just doing real time damage.
Keeper.
What?
That was what you told me when I asked the first time for that.
Right. Well, what I'm telling you now is what we're gonna do is the following. So maybe you need to write this down, and that way we'll remember it, or you remember it, for at least for this session. Is that your cans will last you 5 turns. They will do 10 seconds worth of damage every single turn you take. So that means that you're gonna hold your can down for 10 seconds. Your can is not going to explode for holding it down 10 seconds. It's only going to explode if you fumble the rope. Now, let's go ahead and determine how you use the can and the fire so we can get with the campaign. So, I need you to do a couple things. I need you to A, roll mechanical repair, see if you can create something. Or B, roll your luck to see if you know somebody that can make that for you. Or C, if you don't want to say that you know somebody that makes that for you, you can pay somebody to make it for you.
Pretty much paying.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I still need you to roll your luck. Let's do that.
Ooh, my luck is terrible.
There you go. All right. So now you have some sort of contraption that allows you to do one roll only. So you can just type down homemade flamethrower. And with that homemade flamethrower, you will be able to shoot 5 times before you need to replace a can. And we're going to say that you're going to be able to shoot at a, let me see, roll 1d5.
What damage did you say?
Give me a second. Okay, so let's be, I don't like that one. So let's say 3. So we're gonna be able to say that you can shoot at a distance of 3 steps away from you, not necessarily right in your face, but maybe just a couple of steps away from you. You can start shooting that flamethrower and hurting people.
Around 2 meters or something like that.
Right. And the damage will be, give me just a moment. Roll 1d. Okay, maybe if I can if I can roll right. Okay, so the damage is going to be a 1d5 plus four. Okay, so, and that's going to go for how many turns? Give me just a sec. Okay, so the damage that you're going to do is a 1d5 plus a 1d4 for up to 3 turns. And the 1d4 is going to be just damage over time that you're going to do regardless if you still hit him or not. Because when you burn something, that continues doing damage regardless if you continue burning it or not. Is that okay?
Duration of burn?
Right. So that's going to be just damage over time. So your damage to whatever you're broiling while you're shooting that can is going to be a 1d5. Once your turn ends, you're no longer shooting. We assume that you shot the whole 10 seconds worth of that can. You went 10 seconds down, holding the tip of the can down. For 10 seconds, you did a 1d5 worth of damage. Now that you're not shooting anymore, regardless if next turn you shoot or not, that enemy takes a 1d4 worth of damage for 3 more rounds for afterburn.
Okay.
That
and
good?
I'm using what for my roll.
I'm sorry, say that again.
What do I roll to attack with?
I will roll.
Roll handgun.
I will roll rifle. Yeah,
Okay, so
rifle
that's
or
about
handgun.
five.
You can attach it to either or.
Let's say that the size is on the big handgun size.
So what?
The size of device, let's say that it's on the side of a big handgun.
Right. So ultimately, you just write the skill under combat, and just attach the handgun to be the skill that you're going to be rolling for succeeding or failing, because ultimately you created that contraption that allows you to do that in just one turn, and that's all you got to do. Go to bed and go to sleep.
Okay, so I have a good weapon if we ever end up fighting in enclosed space.
Yes, it's definitely going to
One
be
punch.
a great device for something that you're close by. At the same time, you got to be careful not to burn everything else down.
Honestly, the flamethrowers are a best weapon when dealing with monsters.
Okay, whatever you say, buddy.
You monsters don't have a lot.
You're more than welcome to use it anytime you want to. So anyway,
And to avoid getting caught in fire, you need to pass luck save.
okay. So let's continue on with the story. So you guys received the letter. Is there anything that you want to do from the point that you received the letter till the next day that you're going to that office and you're going to see this person and meet him for for whatever offer he's got for you?
No, not really. I, I'm basic. My character is just basically living alone, and this is probably an opportunity to actually do something. So she's just gonna just get her stuff and see what's needed of her.
Okay.
Doctor is probably just going to live his life as normal. I mean, if he remembers jumping to the mansion, so he's gonna want to live his life as normal.
Okay. So you're just gonna continue on as nothing happened. All right. Perfect. Wonderful. And Arrow, do you have a character creator already? Are you playing? What are we doing? I know that you're in chat. I know that you can hear me. You may have to unmute yourself to answer.
They might not be here.
Oh, he is in chat. He's just muted. But anyway, meanwhile, with those of you that told me that, pretty much the next day comes up. You head on towards the meeting. The meeting, by the time you guys get there, granted that you guys don't go together there, but you find yourselves in the building. Somebody type something? 3. Okay. You guys get there and you guys meet each other at the entrance of the building. Somebody typing something?
I was just responding to our arrow.
Oh, I don't see anything. In chat or?
Yeah, sorry, I was having audio problems.
Oh, there you are.
good. Things happen.
Great. Awesome. Did you manage to grade your character?
Yes, I did. I created it yesterday, and I'm just entering it on Roll20 so I can do the digital rolls.
Okay. Who's your character?
My character is Peter Beekman. He's an accountant, and a part-time stock exchange working in the bucket shops. Just a generic businessman, quite average looking.
Cool. Let me just. Oh, I see it right there. Awesome. Yeah, that works. Nice. 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 I'm excited. That seems like an awesome character. Yeah. All right. So you would have received the same letter this couple gentlemen received, inviting them for a very exciting meeting. I'm sorry, not this couple gentlemen. This gentleman and this other lady, because one of them is playing a lady character. So,
Yeah.
you guys, all three of you, arrive. By the time you arrive, the doors are closed. So, you three cannot help to just stand outside. Just waiting. See each other standing over there. And, let's say that the meeting, for whatever reason, was at 9 a.m. And it's 9:01 and the door just still not open. What do you guys do?
Well, hello. What business brought you here? As my character asks the others.
Recently received the invitation.
Yes, I mean, like, what exactly? I mean, like, are you a medical professional as well?
Medical profession.
I mean, I'm a mortician.
You can say I could be.
So I guess that counts.
Ah, that's yeah, that counts. What about you? Turning towards Peter.
Definitely not a medical professional. Not sure where I got an invitation then. I do have a college degree. I had nothing better to do, honestly, than kicked out of the local bucket shop again, so I've got time on my hands. Figured I'd follow up with this note I received.
That's strange. Why would he, our host, invite two medical professionals and help? I thought they were ill.
Yeah.
Oh dear. I'll knock on the door.
Keep in mind that let's put some background music. If the music is too loud, you can always go to our Discord and right click on the Munix icon and lower the volume down to where it just becomes background music. So ultimately the door opens and somebody comes up and says, "Oh, I guess you are the prospects that answer to the letter. That is great. That is just amazing. Great timing too. Yeah, I'm really glad you are guys. I don't actually. You guys are late. Don't let this happen again, please. But just come in.
We've been here for a while. Actually, we were waiting.
My name is John, and you guys are gonna meet with Mr. Donovan. Okay, he's a very important gentleman. He is And when I mean important, I mean he's a dilettante. He's the one probably that makes things happen in this town. So when you're talking to him, just remember that it's somebody that has a lot of power, you know, and how lucky you are to be here, because ultimately he is going to be rewarding you for your time, and also, proposing something that may be fairly lucrative to you. I honestly don't know exactly what it is, but you know I am also here for a reason. I started working for him in the same way you guys are. So just try not to be late again. Don't let this happen anymore, and please go to those doors, and he'll be ready to see you. Okay, if you have any questions, don't ask me. Thank you.
Can I do a psychology on this guy?
Sure,
See if he's.
you can.
Because
Yeah,
I've dealt with patients that have lied before, so.
yeah. That he's just lying to you. Obviously, he was late, but he's just blaming it on you so he doesn't get in trouble. Um, but that's about it. That's all you can tell about it.
Alright. I'll just squint my eyes, but continue going forth. Like,
Okay.
okay.
So,
As she hefts her bag and goes towards the meeting.
all right. So the door, you guys open the door and I guess enter the office, and this very, very fat, middle-aged gentleman is sitting on the behind a desk. He's drinking some whiskey, and again, he's just drinking there. And he sees you coming. He's like, "Oh, welcome. Please, come in." He has a very scratchy voice. You can assume. Actually, let's go ahead and roll education.
I was going to roll medicine, but okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you can imagine that he is a heavy smoker. Olivia, your character, Olivia just gets a mad raging headache right now while listening to the voice. It's like scratching. You know that noise of nails scrubbing a chalkboard. So something like that, of that effect, will do to your ears, and therefore go ahead and roll a 1d2. See how much damage that headache does to you. You may be able to recover that later on. 1 damage. So you may be able to recover that damage later on once your headache passes. But so right now you lose a point of damage, a point of health.
Yeah, I have some aspirin that I pull out.
Yeah. So he talks to you. He's like, "Well, welcome, welcome. I'm really glad that you guys answered, and I'm a little concerned that not many more people answered this call. But I do have some things to discuss with you that are of truly grave concern, as I believe the faith of humanity, the faith of the whole world is at stake on this, and nobody's willing to do anything about it. I know that you guys are very smart people, and you guys have your degrees, your education, your experience. I know that some of you have been already entangled with some weird stuff, which I'm not at liberty to discuss in case you have already discussed it before. But nonetheless, and he looks at Arlene's character, he says, "Please know that we are thankful for your sacrifice." And we just know exactly how far you're willing to go to help and to correct things, and how far you're willing to go to investigate the unexplainable and to potentially bring normality to this world, get rid of the evil, I guess. And unfortunately, I have some information that I would like to share with you. However, if I do share it, I will need to have some assurances that not only you're not going to be discussing this in the open, but that you will be willing to take it seriously and maybe be willing to be hired to stop whatever's going on.
Not like I have much going on these days, so.
Says, well, let me tell you first of all that I am happy to entertain your acquaintance for in the amount of $30 just for showing up today and listening to me. I do I do not want you to think that I am deliberately wasting your time. So he pulls out some information like a notebook from under a drawer that is under his desk. He's like, look, I have some information here that I've been investigating for a while, and I obviously, as you can tell, I am in no physical condition to mobilize much like you guys would and provide a good investigation, but I do have ears and eyes all around town, and I am under fairly certain suspicion that somebody is doing something that is not okay. I know that there is, for a fact, a group of people that are concentrating into doing weird things. I own many different factories in this town. I run the fish business, so you probably have heard of the McCoy fishing company. I own it, and we pretty much own every single every single factory that is connected to the water. You know, we just catch a fish, process it, and we put it for sale. Right? So ultimately, as you may understand, you know, the factories run on a daytime basis. We don't have people working overnight. However, the weirdest things have happened where the the workers have showed up one morning and they have noticed that things have been very strange. Things are showing up as moved, and not just moved like somebody maybe thinking they left something in one place and maybe it's like just a little bit off, but completely moved out of the way. And I'm not talking either about certain simple things. I'm talking about maybe tables, chairs, completely move out of the way where they're supposed to be, things appearing where they shouldn't be. Like, for example, drawings and markings and symbols where they don't need to be. So, I am afraid that there is a cult at large. A cult that maybe not necessarily having our best interest in mind. And when I mean ours, I mean humanity's.
What? What? What do you mean by cult?
Well,
Good.
I do have some information that. What?
Encounter them, or is it just a guess?
It's just a guess? No, it is not a guess. So he opens a book he opens a notebook that he has in front of him, and he gets to a part where he has pictures and drawings. And he says, this is the type of stuff that we've seen inside of the many factories that we have. And he has pictures for about, let's see, let's do a roll and determine how many factories he. Okay. So within 2 factories, we have found this many markings, and you see that there's writing on walls, drawings, different types of runes written down in many areas, very, very different markings that don't seem to be of human writing, right? And stuff that, any regular human being will have not ever seen ever again, or will have never seen, will have not encountered, that's for sure, on a regular basis. He's like, well, I run a fish factory, so maybe I'm just making this up. Maybe I'm just exaggerating. So maybe you can explain to me who does this kind of stuff at a fishing factory. And before you tell me that it's a prank, maybe you can also tell me who keeps doing this overtime, because this is not the first time. This continues happening. And it's been happening for at least 3 months now.
Can you point the locations out on a map?
Yeah, no problem. And if you look at the map, he tells you where my factory is right here, the one, and the other one is right next to it, right there.
And those were the ones that were marked?
Yeah. Although I have something else to show you that I have not yet. And this will be a little bit more concerning. So as you can imagine, me finding some sort of drawings that maybe some kids, some teenagers could have done by breaking up into my factories, it's not such big of a deal, because ultimately, maybe somebody's just vandalizing the place. That wouldn't be something new. Kids are rascals. They do that nowadays. They've always been rascals. I've done that when I was a kid too. Maybe not to my own factories, but I used to have my own share of mischieving and acting like that. But you know what I never did? He pulls some other set of pictures. He tells you, this is what I never did. And he shows you how the whole room, and those are pictures that follow up the first set of pictures. He says, this is what I never did. I never ended up with a room covered in blood and guts. And these are not fish guts. And let me tell you that in order to come up with so much blood as to have enough to make a picture like this, you will need to have an unholy amount of fish pulled out of the water and rub it against walls and the floors and the furniture and everything else in order to look like this. So I am afraid that something's happening. I also have some other concerns.
Didn't police take any proper action to investigate?
Well, I thought that too. But then I found out that every time we found something like this happening, one of our employees was missing. Suddenly, whether our managers, our somebody that was supposed to be working that day, somebody that was running the lines, Joey, the foreman that normally closes a factory. That happened to him too. He what happened to Joey was very, very unfortunate. You know, we have images that this happened the night before Joey was supposed to be closing the factory, and Joey disappeared. He actually was gone for about 3 weeks. I don't know if you remember about a couple months ago where there was those news that people kept disappearing, whatever, and they never been found, and also at some point animals started disappearing too. But then suddenly, when the people stopped disappearing, Johnny showed up. He showed back up at work. He said that he had been ill and that unfortunately he had a breakthrough and that he was quitting. And he quit because he was going to start traveling around the country.
Was there something weird about him? Did he act differently? Maybe a little lost?
Well, maybe, yeah. I mean, Johnny was always been a great worker. He never missed a day of work. He's always been somebody that worked really hard, never missed a day of work, and then all of a sudden he just disappeared for 3 weeks like that without saying anything. Then finally showing up. I mean, he wasn't even at his house because his wife came looking for him at the factory. We had a missing report. But he showed up like it was nothing. He said, "Hey, I quit. I'm retiring. I'm gonna go travel the country, and I'm done working." And left. He had a very, very strange look in his eyes.
Or was it like as if you were high?
No, it was more like as if he had no feelings, as if he had no care for anything. As if anything that somebody could care for is suddenly gone. And therefore you just have no qualm about doing whatever it is you're gonna do. Therefore you're just not thinking about anything else. You're just going with whatever it is that you're going to do. I envy that, by the way.
So he was just completely blank.
No, I would not say that he was blank. I would say that he just wanted to do whatever he wanted to do, and that's exactly what he did. But it was very out of character for him.
No restrictions, you'd say?
Well, I don't know what restrictions you may be referring about, but
like how he didn't restrict himself.
he was always somebody concerned about working really hard and getting his family to move forward and to try to like get to a better place. And he has a daughter that she's in school, and I mean she's a small child, and all of a sudden that just stopped mattering.
I don't know. So I
That
guess
makes zero sense.
Yeah, I don't know either. And that's why we're here. That's why I contacted you guys. I wanted you to ultimately. I know that our dearest over here, um, and he's looking at you, Arlie. He's looking at your character, Mr. Daniel Anderson. I know that deep inside of you, you have experience on this, and you know exactly what I'm referring to. You know that things are weird,
Yes,
things
I can.
unexpected things happen. You've been through this. You and I know. I mean, I don't know exactly what you've been experiences back then, but and that's why I said before that we're thankful for your sacrifice. But at the same time, this is not something normal. Something's going on here. And if it is something normal, well, guess what? It should just be another day at the office for you. You can just do nothing about it and just go on with your day. If it is not something normal, then feel free to investigate and put an end to whatever that is. And I will definitely, handsomely pay you to do something about it.
Okay. And I have a copy of these images.
A copy of the images.
Yeah,
Well.
the symbols.
Tell you what. If you want to see all that, why don't you just go to the factory? I honestly don't think that just the images I have will be enough for somebody like you. I think you should definitely go to the factory, take a look, and I'll tell you what. You don't even have to answer me yet. You can just go look and let me know after you see the things you see over there what you want to do about it. If you maybe I'm exaggerating. I will also pay you to go look at the factory. You know, if you don't want to take my offer right now, I will be happy to give you $15 a piece for you to just go look at the factory.
Well, I mean, can you do a rough sketch of what one of the most prominent images? I want to double check at the library.
Well, honestly, I haven't been able to gather everything here. I have only certain things. But, if you want to try to make sketches out of the guts that are spread out everywhere, that are not necessarily of human origin. I mean, I'm sorry, of fish origin, but they're most definitely out of human origin. Or if you just want to make a sketch of the drawings that were made out of blood, some of them, because we couldn't get everything on the pictures, by all means. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to talk with some of my friends. Maybe there's already ongoing investigation about that. And maybe they already have some recent news. Oh,
Bah!
they're going to tell me to fuck off.
Alright, well, do you mind if if I borrow a pen and paper then?
Sure thing. Here you go. Entertain yourselves.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Anything else you'd like? As I point towards the Arrow's character.
And he says, well, to finish our discussion, I want to leave you with this idea. If you so choose to undertake my offer, I would like to hire your services for. Let's make a roll. See what he's gonna pay you. I would like to hire you for the amount of $1,358 a piece.
No, okay, yeah, sure. Well,
With the uh, and with the arrangement that you guys not only find what's going on and you resolve it. It can be as simple as it can be, or it can be as hard as it can be. It's something that you guys will be undertaking ultimately.
that's all right. I'm ready to go. How about you two?
I mean, I'm mostly ready.
I'm ready as I'll ever be, you know.
Trust me, you can never be ready before anything supernatural. It's just impossible. And yes, I'm talking from a personal experience.
I'm sure we'll be able to get through this if we just keep our wits about us now. Well,
I truly wish I had your confidence.
I just like to try to remain optimistic. Shall we get going?
Let's.
Excellent.
Okay, so first, I'm going to head towards the towards the police station to try and talk with any acquaintances I might have.
Who?
I'm guessing I need to roll something for it.
But hold on. Whose acquaintances?
Anderson.
So the owner of the factory?
No.
The
Daniel
one that
Anderson.
Oh, the foreman, the guy that was working over there.
No. Daniel Anderson works in a morgue and there's a forensic. That's what we talked about, right?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Your character, you mean?
Yeah, he's going
Okay.
to go and
Okay.
try to talk with anyone from the police station that might have some type of information that could be useful. Who knows? Maybe
Okay.
they already
No,
have
that's totally fine. That's part of investigating. I mean, you should definitely try your luck, see how that goes. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine you easily doing this while me and Arrow's character actually go to the factory, since we have no experience with this.
Yeah, none of my acquaintances know anything about it.
Well, you
You
know.
can learn remotely.
Well, we're gonna role play it anyway. We're not necessarily just go based on that, but okay. So Arlen, I take it that you are saying that you're going to the police station.
Yeah. So I'm going to head out towards the police station, see if they maybe know anything.
Okay.
If
Okay.
anyone is interested in joining, feel free. Although I think that I feel they might not be willing to talk, even if they know something, if there are strangers asking about the potentially ongoing investigation.
Sure thing. Whatever. So okay. So this is what we're doing. You go and you go to the police station, and then you're saying that the our dearest characters over here, our dearest investigators, Olivia and Peter, are going to go to where? What is Olivia and Peter doing?
Olivia, like I said, not knowing, being her first investigation, would just go to the factory right away and actually get those the picture, like try to draw the pictures of any symbols or anything, like so that way she can actually see if there's anything in the library for her to find out.
Okay. All right. So Daniel, your character gets to the police station. There's a gentleman, a police officer, wearing a police cap. He has a mustache. He has a little beard that is coming off a scruff, and he hasn't grown in a long time. But lately, he has not have had enough time to shave. When you look at his face, he looks definitely a little bit tired. Obviously, he's been having a long shift, and he looks at you. He's like, "Oh, Anderson. Well, what you been up to?"
Well, honestly, nothing much. I mean, I have been asked to look into some weird case at the fish factory. You know, people disappearing. One of the people that disappeared, we appeared acting weird. About a few weeks after he disappeared, which is what got the owner worried. But aside of that, it's been fairly peaceful week, which is, I must say, slightly disturbing in our country. Usually there's something happening. What have you been doing? You look like... When was the last time you slept, man?
Well, listen, look, we have had a very long time over here, long day. I've been on a 24-hour shift already that it doesn't look like it's gonna stop. Um, Things have been going crazy over here since the happenings on the fish factory. We have more and more people just disappearing. They just vanish. And what's crazy is that people that have vanished months ago seem to be coming back out of nowhere. But then they leave.
But they're acting differently.
But then they leave. They, yeah, no, most definitely they act differently. But then they leave. They go out of town. They go into other things. They just leave their families behind. They just leave everything behind, and they go do whatever it is that they are set to do. I'm not sure what's going on.
Did any of them look like they had been hurt? And they come
No,
back?
he doesn't look like he's being hurt. He just looks like he's been ready. He's ready to go do whatever it is that he wants to do. I mean, he obviously don't care about his family anymore or anything else. He's got whatever else in mind, which is very strange too, because he has this very different type of look.
Similar to what I had a few months ago.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, this is based on what everybody's saying. His family is saying that. His friends are saying that. And honestly, when you look at him, he has this look like he's just lost. Just lost within his head.
That did he say where he was all this time?
I'm sorry, what?
Did he say anything about where he was all that time?
No, I don't think he said anything.
No. No. Who's running investigation? If it's not a
Well,
problem.
I'm not at liberty to discuss an open investigation.
I got it.
But I can tell you that that we're looking closely into this, and apparently it has gotten to pretty high levels of government over here in the town, and it's not necessarily something that we can just overlook. Mainly because apparently these things have been happening at the fish factories, and the fish factory owner, is somebody with a lot of money, and he's friends with the mayor. So we just can't look the other way.
I got it. He's been raising a stinker.
Yep. The guy seems to be willing to go as far as he needs to go in order to figure out what's going on in his factories. And I don't blame him. If I had factories like he does, I would want to know exactly what goes on in my factories. So.
Got it. I mean, to be honest, I'm asking because that guy hired me and a few others to to do some snooping.
Well, look, buddy. As much as I respect you, keep in mind that this is an
You
open
cannot tell me
investigation.
anything.
So I do have
I
to warn
understand.
you not to interfere with our police work. Okay?
I've been working with police for a long time.
I understand. I'm just letting you know. This is still an open investigation, so we need you to try to don't break any rules. Don't do anything that will get you in trouble. You know how it is.
I'll yeah, and I'll send you any anything we might learn
That's
while we're
perfect.
snooping around.
That's great.
Sound good?
That's all we need. Thank you. All right. Well,
Not a problem.
if you know anything, just let us know. Thank you very much. And he just sits down on the chair and he starts like he kicks his feet over the desk and he kind of starts almost falling asleep over there on the chair because he's so tired. Meanwhile,
I guess.
Keegan, your character and Airgift's character, what are you guys up to? Keegan.
Sorry, going to the sorry, I was muted.
I
Going to
said-
the factory where the symbols were drawn in guts, and
Okay.
you see if I can write down the symbols for so as you can look it up in the Miskatonic University's library.
All right. So you guys go to the factory. When you enter the factory, I mean, you're outside the factory. You touch who's gonna open the front door of the factory?
I'll open the front door.
Go ahead and roll power.
Okay. Oh, right, wait.
Power's at the top. Top of your shit.
Yeah, sorry, I've not used Roll20.
No, it's
very
alright.
much.
It's all right.
That's
No
good.
issue. You're doing good. Keep on keeping on.
How do I even get? How do I get my character sheet to open? I'm on the
Oh, okay.
characters tab,
So-
and it's not in the list.
To get your character sheet to open, you should be able to just click on it on your character's name on the side of once you're in the game. When you have the list of characters that are in the game, you find your character, and then you just click on it, and you should open it up. Peter Eugene Beckman. Unless you already have it open. If you already have it open, it's not gonna keep reopen it. You just gotta go down to whatever tabs you have on, and that's where you will find your character sheet.
Gotcha. Okay. I have it open, and then to roll proper.
You roll power.
Yeah.
You have a 55. So make sure you have it off of edit mode, and then once you're off of edit mode, you will click on where it says power, and that will do the roll for you.
Yeah, it's right in between appearance, luck, and intelligence.
There you go. Perfect. Perfect. When you touch the handle of the front door, you have this weird sensation, but then again, you kind of take a deep breath, and you open the door anyway, and you just go inside, along with Keegan's character.
Olivia.
As you guys walk in, you notice that the place is definitely not looking like a place of business anymore. What once could have been a fish factory, a fish processing factory, that is, that may have been kept not up to standards when it comes to cleaning. Definitely, it is not up to standards right now. You guys can see dried blood on the walls, dry blood on the floor, chunks of flesh, and some bones, some human parts left and right. You do see some you do see a circle on the floor, right about the middle of the factory. There's an area with a circle. There's some runes written inside of the circle, surrounding the circle. That they look very, very strange. You just cannot tell what they mean, but they're there. And there seems to be a darkening inside of the circle, almost as if there was some sort of ash, or if something just burnt the middle part of the circle and just left the burn mark in there. And that's so far what you see.
I'm gonna take out my notebook and start copying the circle and runes as best I can.
Same here, and maybe some other parts of the scene that you won't be able to get, or the smaller stuff.
Yeah, good to compare in case one of us makes an error too.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, so you guys write everything down, and just a second. Let's see how much time goes by over there. About 2 hours. So, as you guys write everything down, you notice that there is a set of stairs that also happens to go up. But that's about that. Seems to be a manager's office on the top floor. Who wants to roll spot hidden to see if you locate anything, particularly not being a piece of flesh or any blood that is spread around?
I was literally about to ask. Here we go.
There you go. All right, so you find this little carving. There's this little carving made out of a piece of wood that resembles a snake.
I'll take a piece of paper and start making an edge of it, like putting it up against it and like seeing how, instead of like trying to draw it, I'll actually just, have it on hand, like.
Mm-hmm. It seems to be like a very big size head of a snake, and then a small body, and the body is not necessarily just a regular body of a snake. It seems to be like the body of a person. However, their extremities are also snakes. Like their arms have a head on their extremities, and their feet also. This creature seems to be covered with tentacles, and their face also seems to be having sort of like a beard of sorts, in which every single tentacle that comes out of their beard seems to be also its own snake type, kind of like a Medusa type thing, but not the hair, most of the beard.
Yeah. Well then, I'm just gonna sketch that and suggest we go up to the manager's office.
All right.
Maybe we'll find something there.
Very well. You get to the manager's office. One more power roll, please, as you open the front door of the manager's office. Very well. All right.
Don't worry, Eugene, I got this.
The door is really freaking me out.
So, this gets good. So, Peter. So ultimately, we have Luna just walking in. As Luna walks in, she starts looking around. Peter, you kind of see yourself walking in, and as you walk in, you're looking around, and you notice that the the room kind of seemed to be expanding and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Give me just a second, please. What's up?
And I whatever it's called is on the counter.
Okay. And as the room keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, the some eyes appear. You see that there's some eyes appearing made out of light, and in the distance, they're looking at you. These eyes, they seem to be very elongated, and their pupils, they don't seem to be round. They seem to be like very sharp, almost like a line. And you seem to be moving into the room. And the more you move into the room, the bigger the room gets. So every time you try to get somewhere where you're going, you keep walking and walking and walking. And the room just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And as you keep moving around, more and more eyes just seem to appear. So by the time you continue walking and you turn around, you possibly have about 10 different sets of eyes looking at you. At that moment, you get a vision. In this vision, you're seeing what seems to be Earth, your planet. At some point in time, not necessarily now, but at some point in the history of Earth. And you just seem to be standing over there, and obviously you don't necessarily feel you or who you are, but you are someone that's just standing over there. And while you're standing over there, you see all this people. People are just standing still. And granted that you don't necessarily see them to their faces, you don't necessarily see what they look like. You just assume that they're people because they move like people and they're interacting somewhat like people. And they just move around and whatever, and then somebody finally just comes close to you. And you feel kind of like they touch you. And they start talking in some sort of a strange hissing language in which sounds like the hiss of a snake, but almost if a snake could talk. And when you look, you see that this man made out of a snake body, which it could be a man or a woman. You just can't really identify it. It's just having a full-blown conversation with you, and you just cannot understand what they're saying. This creature seems to be getting upset because it's not going to reply from you due to the fact that you just don't know how to answer, what to say back. And if you do say something back, you're probably saying in just your human voice. And eventually, once it's mad enough, it just jumps on you to try to bite you. And go ahead and roll your power again. And when it jumps back and tries to bite you, it pushes you back. And Arlene, Keegan, go ahead and roll Spahin. Okay. So you're just looking inside of that room. La 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 la. And, alright, so, Peter, you get pushed back. When you get pushed back, this creature just jumps over you, and you see how it tries to bite you. So at this point, you have a couple of choices. Whether you can roll your dexterity to see if you can free yourself, or you can roll your brawl and see if you can fight it back. What do you choose to do?
I'm gonna do dexterity and try and free myself. Oh man.
Okay. So this creature pushes you back. And when it pushes you back, it jumps on you. And its body seems to be very, very flexible, not necessarily kind of like the human body. It's almost as if it was a human body without bones. So it starts wrapping around you. And you seem to be losing your grasp and your breath. And eventually you pass out. And when you pass out, you just find yourself over there in the middle of the entry of the door. Enter into that office. And right now you owe me sanity. So go ahead and roll your sanity. Okay, and you're going to roll a 1d5. So you're going to type /roll and then space number 1, letter D, number 5. And you're going to lose 3 points of sanity for that. You have not taken any damage, by the way. But if you do look at the back of your clothes, you will notice how your clothes seems to be strangely dirty, with dirt and possibly some grass marks. So both of you now that are in the office get to roll spying. All right. So, looking at the office, you see that there's more statues, different statues, of course, but they seem to be all depicting some sort of snakes. At this point, you probably start making an assumption that it seems to be a recurrent thing that the snakes are coming up.
Yeah,
The
considering that.
by checking the desk, you do find a notebook. And on the notebook, it seems to be some sort of ledger where they type all the fish and all the stuff that they get back. Who wants to roll luck?
Okay. I got 40. What's yours, Peter?
My luck is really low. It's 20.
All right.
Oh, yikes. Alright, so other than that, other than the ledger and the rest of the items, you don't necessarily seem to find much of anything else that is important. So that's about it. So what else do you guys do?
Seeing how there was a weird snake symbol sketched in like a cranny in the factory floor, and there are snakes here, I'm just gonna like look for any secrets, like compartments. She would read like detective novels in her spare time. You know.
Now everything
like
you
that.
could everything you could have found, you already found it. There's really nothing
Oh,
else.
okay.
That's it.
Then alright, I believe it's time for us to actually go to Miskatonic University's library. Perfect time as ever. What needed. Maybe able to find.
Yeah, there were 2 factories that were hit. I'm wondering if we would gain anything additional from seeing the other one. This one seems really snake focused. I'm curious if the other one is too.
This is the manager's office, so maybe the other one didn't have that much choice in the matter. Yes.
Yeah, you're more than welcome to go to the other manager's office. I mean, I'm sorry, to the other factory. The other factory, you guys will have to cross the bridge, and not the whole bridge, but just to the other side of the bridge, and you get to the office. I mean, to the factory.
Yeah. We just basically walk across the street.
Pretty much.
Yeah, since we're here, it would be negligent to not check it.
Yeah. Yeah,
All right, very
dark
well.
Symbols.
So you start heading there. Okay, so by the time you get there, you notice that this time around there seems to be some people talking outside of the factory. There's Go ahead and roll a 1d5.
Oh.
So there's about 5 people talking outside of the factory.
Yeah, I guess.
Can we hear what they're saying? Or are they just chattering?
Oh, they're just chattering among themselves, not too loud.
Anything specific, or is that going to be a listen check?
No, you will need to roll a listen check if you want to try to listen. It's
Alright.
not loud enough. Alright. So, they're like, one of them is like, things have been definitely a little bit challenging lately. It's getting more and more difficult to be able to accomplish everything we need. I think things may get a little hairy. And someone else says, yes, it has been getting a little bit more difficult. But if we continue through, we should accomplish our mission. We should be able to command that opening. It's like, and someone else says, yeah, but you know what? We may be running out of room. We might have to find some other spot to do it. I think the factory's maybe getting a little hot lately. And another one says, well, I'm not sure we need to worry about it. I think there's just plenty of us now. And then they turn around, they see you.
And I'm just gonna keep on walking past them. As if I didn't hear a thing.
Like, hi, friend. Can we help you with anything?
Just going on a walk. Gotta get to work.
Oh, okay. Well, do you work nearby?
Yes, but don't worry, I'll be fine. As she just, walks a bit faster.
Okay, well, if you need any
Have a good
help,
day.
you look like you should have some company. Maybe why don't you come inside and we can assist
no,
you. You
my-
can take a sit. Maybe we can give you a drink, something to help you out. You look hungry. We got plenty of
That's
fish
a bit
snacks
scandalous,
inside.
don't you think? As she's continually walking past.
Okay, well, if you change your mind, we'll be here.
As I'm just gonna keep on walking forward as if, as if I've done nothing wrong. I know nothing.
Okay, and what about Peter?
I wasn't listening in, kind of just thought that they were a normal crowd, so seeing Olivia look a bit uncomfortable, sort of just gently guided her elbow, like to walk a bit quicker.
Okay. So you guys then managed to get some distance between them.
Yeah. Can I do a spot hidden to make sure they're not like following us?
Sure, go ahead. Okay. So no, you don't see anybody following you.
Alright. Oh dear, this is a bit bigger than it seems. They're going to go to someplace else. The factories are a bit hot for them, as he said. Oh dear.
Oh, is that what made you so squeamish there for a moment?
Yes,
Oh.
yes, that and their quite their manners for the lack of, you know.
Did you happen to notice their faces? Maybe we should follow them. That seems like a fairly clear lead.
Peter, do I look like a fighting woman to you? I doubt I'd be able to do well with one, let alone five.
Okay, fair point. Fair point.
Our best bet is for them is us to wait and see if they leave the factory area. At least the majority of them, you know.
Sure. That is on the optimistic side, a bit of a silver lining. If they're moving on, we can be a little bit more comfortable investigating the factories. So be leaving.
Yeah, as I look back to. Actually, as I was looking back, did I see that they were leaving the factory or were they going in?
No, there seemed to be like they were just talking outside. They you cannot tell if they were going in or coming out or what.
Well, let's.
Could be doing both.
You wouldn't be happen to be good at hiding, would you?
Um, Not best. I mean, I played hide and seek as a child, but I wouldn't say I'm particularly adept at it. AKA my disguise is 5%.
Yikes.
Yeah, hold on. Let me double check because what my I'll just double check the examples for the investigator character sheets because my the character answer messed up and my stealth is 0, so oh yeah, my stealth should be 20%.
Yeah, keep in mind that on the stuff that the character manager is messed up, you're more than welcome to just roll it straight forward. You should have a copy of the book telling you exactly what you need to roll. If you need to just roll.
I'm editing it manually now.
Yeah.
Alright, so I would. Alright, well. Might as well try. Let's go.
I will say it looks more suspicious if we're trying to hide when we walk in and get caught, as opposed to if we just walk in.
You know, fair enough. I'm not used to the bravery aspect. That was more of
guys are
Nino's that category, you know.
There's 2 of us. How bad can it be?
And there's 5 of them.
Sure, come back to haunt me.
And 5 of them.
And 5 of them. Exactly. So, at this point in time, you necessarily have to think about something. So, because, and I get that you guys, there's one of you that is kind of experienced in this game, and there's another one that is a brand new player. So, ask yourself, what would you do in real life in this situation? And that's what you
Probably
probably
actually
should
go-
do.
Probably actually go to the police. Yeah.
Pro- Probably just go to the nearest public space until it noticed them leaving and then head to where I was going.
Yeah. Well,
Both of those answers are very valid. I think we can
Well, this-
agree that most likely, you know, looking at a man and a woman trying to confront five different guys that are just talking in the 1920s, where police maybe may take a little too long to arrive and aid you if something happens to you, may not necessarily be like one of your best alternatives, especially when you're one man down at this point.
Yeah. Well, I don't. We should just go to the police. Maybe they will be able to be more of use. After all, I doubt it. That the two of us would be able to handle it if things go awry.
That's a fair point. Perhaps we could go to the library, or yeah, we could meet up their other acquaintance at the police station. I believe that's where he said he was going.
Yes, he did. Did I, yes, let's go to the. Let's go to the station. If he's not there, hope that he's at the library.
All right.
Um, let's stick to the main streets, I guess.
Yeah, yes, quite.
All right. So you head to the police stations. Police station.
Yeah, and as we're like walking there, I'm just like have my hand in a pocket gripping something.
All right. And Arlen, so what are you doing, man?
After I finished talking with them, honestly, most likely I would have, because logically, know that they would go, essentially. Um, I guess I go to the library, because that's one place they will almost definitely appear. So, off to the library, I guess.
All right. So you head on to the library, and ultimately, I believe that um, the other two investigators said that they were gonna go to the police station, towards the police station, and if they couldn't see you over there, they were gonna head towards the library. So, after a while, you guys end up all arriving at the library about at the same time. And you guys meet at outside of the library. So,
Well, good news and bad. We discovered we discovered some members and got some information from one factory, but wasn't able to go to the other because said members, and they know our two faces.
Do they suspect you did it, or do they know you?
Suspect, but that could just be good because they're like that. After all, I did walk on by, quote unquote, while they were discussing their plans. They don't necessarily know that I know something, you know?
I get it. What did they say? What did you find there?
They're no longer going to use the factories. That's good for our employer, but that also means that they're going to continue doing this elsewhere. And by what we do know, it's going to be something of similar size at least.
So, did you see anything that might indicate? Did you say anything that might indicate what they're actually doing?
No, I just. Let's go to in the library where it's a bit more quiet and safe. After all, if something were to happen, we'd be able to cause a commotion, get attention on us. I doubt they'd want to do that.
Okay. So where to? Inside the library, I guess.
Yes, and like as we're going in, I would hand him the etching of the Snake Man.
Okay.
So, especially humanoid with snake face, snake skin, snake arms, snake legs.
Yeah, snake head, Medusa hair, human body. And tentacles crawling all over.
One of these again.
Okay, that's it's concerning, but why don't we just look at what we can find first, as I'm going to use the library check. Use. But I'm a bit shaken from that still.
Alright, so you're not necessarily finding anything.
Yeah.
Use libraries is not a problem. I use library is terrible, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah, I'll also use my notes instead of
Alright.
find anything.
Thank you, Peter. You.
So where is that?
It's the bottom of the first row under law.
Library?
Oh.
Actually, not bad.
Yeah, I have the worst one here.
Alright, so after looking at the library, in the science fiction section, you managed to find some information. There are some science fiction books depicting some entities from some sort of distant planet that do eat their own poop and run around walking on their hands. And because they do that, they seem to be having some sort of darkening greenish color. Then, also along with that, you find another book in which it tells a fantastic fairy tale story about how the original inhabitants of the planet used to be lizards, dinosaurs and snakes, and how they managed to become intelligent and evolve into this intelligent creatures. But unfortunately, due to catastrophes that happen throughout time and a certain flood, they all got washed out under the planet's surface. And supposedly now they live miles and miles and miles under the planet with into the planet with no capability of coming out. But that there is a group of people that throughout some hard work, someday they may be able to bring him back to overtake and rule the planet all over again as they are deserved.
Does Peter find anything similar, or
No, that's what you find.
he
Okay. This is not too bad.
really seems to be mentally unwell to believe such a fictitious thing?
Oh, it's just hard just to start getting used to the idea. I would very much advise you.
Yeah, gotta do what we can to help
So-
out others.
The librarian comes and she says, "Oh my goodness, what a nice couple you make." Looking
Oh,
at Peter and and he gets character, Luna, and the librarian says, "Are you guys looking for science fiction books for your children? That is actually a really nice way to get your children to read and to get them into practicing the reading and learning some things. You know, ultimately, I have to admit I've done the same thing with my kids when they were little. I brought them books, and they used to read so much. It is the best thing. These books over here, most of them they haven't written by our own um, our own citizens from the town. You know, at one point or another, they decided to write down stories and if you looked at them, some of them have colorings and drawings, and those are just made out of people.
oh, well, that's interesting.
Oh yeah, I know. Well, you know, people are different. You know, everybody doesn't think about the same things, and especially when they're trying to tell fantastic stories to keep people entertained. You know, people have to come up with different ideas.
Have you seen a book with this symbol? As I hold up my etching.
No.
Oh, it's just a little something, a little one found, you know.
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe you have better luck at the university. You know, they seem to have a much bigger library over there.
Isn't this the Miskatonic University's library?
Well, yeah. I mean, their library is much better than our humble university here at Arkham.
I thought we were at Miskatonic.
No, I'm sorry, but you are at the Arkham Library. Um, the Miskatonic University Library is at the university. You will need to go to the university.
Okay. Yeah, let's go there then.
Yeah, no problem. I'm sorry. That book that you have in your hand, do you mind putting it back?
Yeah, yes, of course, of course.
Oh, thank you very much. I mean, I know you were looking at it. I just don't want you to forget you have it in your hand and attempt to walk out with it. You know, because ultimately, I don't necessarily know you, and I don't think I've ever seen you before. So I don't think you're a member of this library. After all.
No. Yeah. Have a good day now.
Oh, thank you. You too. Good luck with your Lizard problem.
Thank you.
And I'm not gonna put that back as that was fucking suspicious as hell. Like, at least to Olivia, because after dealing with the hearing of a possible cult and now the five men know that,
What? You really think that's suspicious? Come on, man.
Olivia is suffering from a bit of paranoia right
Ah,
now.
she
She's
was
just
trying to help you.
Right, so she's just gonna just put it on the table, not gonna bother putting it back. Otherwise, normally, you know.
She's just a helpful soul. Alright, so, where to?
Well, now that there's all three of us, do we want to try and go back to the factory, or are we just going to the university? I assume it's a bit of a distance away.
Maybe. Well, that depends. You're an accountant, correct?
Technically, yes.
Have you ever did any work for any buildings that are in similar shapes to those the structures to those factories, maybe? You know, a bit abandoned and such. You know.
I'm
After
not
all,
exactly sure what you're asking. That's
is
we're working
there
in
any, is there any big abandoned buildings have you worked with? You know, as maybe tax write-offs or something? I don't know.
um. He's a stock investor and has a business degree. I don't think so, but is there like a role to see if that is something?
Um, based on your degree?
Yeah.
Education.
Okay. Nope. I never worked with tax write-offs.
Well, damn shame. So, alright, well, you're the expert in this, well, Mr. Anderson. What do you suggest we do?
I'm going to call myself an expert.
Well, compared to us, you are.
He just got lucky.
I just survived a very unpleasant set of events. Either way, when I had to deal with this, or at least something similar, we said, we mostly had to worry about being hunted instead of hunting.
Hunted?
Very yes, it was a very awkward event, especially when the police got involved.
Well, then,
Relevant, you'll make me sound like an absolute madman if I told you.
fair enough. Why don't we...
I
Either
just
way,
had an idea.
if you get an idea of what they're trying, what they're worshipping, or keeping or trying to summon,
Hold on.
you'll learn at least the basics of what we see, it would be possible to narrow down places that we need to search.
Our newest player has an idea. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's potentially less hazardous if we maybe talk to the families of the people who decided to leave. Maybe they have some additional insight on how the people that returned were acting.
It cannot really hurt.
That would be of help of sorts, after all. If we could figure out what the common factor is, maybe who they talked to last. Yeah, maybe.
Or if they were struck by this odd wanderlust, maybe they mentioned a yearning for the ocean or the mountains or something that would lead us in a direction.
Either way, we do have a lead for our employer. They won't be using his factories.
Maybe we should have more concrete evidence of that before we tell them.
Fair enough, I'm just a bit frazzled. Let's, what can the two of you do in a fight?
I can run away. I carry a pocket knife, but it's really more for show.
I have a gun, a pocket knife, and a flamethrower.
Excuse me, a what?
What?
You should have pulled the sack of his carrying, opened it, and there's a relatively compact contraption that looks intimidating. I have a miniature flamethrower.
I see.
It's
a very good way to
use. You pull it out, point it in the general direction, pull the trigger, and then you can spray left and right, but it will drain the entire canister and reload it with a bit of a trouble thing.
So,
I got the pair of brass knuckles and some, doing some training exercises my husband told me about while he was in, boot camp. That's about it for me. So
Well,
I guess...
The flamethrower sounds intimidating, but it also sounds like a very good way to burn the entire town down. So I personally would prefer not to use it.
Not that.
you know,
If you get caught in the caught in its blast, yes, it can be harmful, but its range is really short.
I am
And not really meant for fighting.
I'm wondering how did the conversation about potentially going to investigate came back as what to do with the flamethrower? That, that one just definitely lost me. Like, what? But okay. So,
I mean, we're dealing with the cult, and we're gonna know how to defend ourselves.
No, yeah, totally. But okay, so all right. So what are you what's the consensus here? Where are we going? Like talk to the families, back to the factory, somewhere else, the Miskatonic University. I don't know what else you guys mentioned that you were
I'm
gonna try.
definitely down for the family since I have a decent charm. Even if it, if we're able to find out who exactly, if there's a common person amongst those who are who went missing, that'd be a great help to us and the police. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, my thought was, it's not too hazardous to talk to the families, and it's probably the better use of our time to have a little bit more information to check at the library than just the symbols.
Yeah, we not only will we be able to have more information for the Miskatonic University, but we'll also be able to. Yeah, I agree.
Harleon, you good with that too?
Sorry, can you do that?
We're going to talk to the families of the victims. Those who went missing after acting weird.
Okay, that makes sense, but I'm advised. If you don't mind too much.
Sure
Do not refer to the people you brought to their families as victims.
Oh,
Because
yeah, no.
It did something that's horribly wrong.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, that's just my way of explaining it for myself. Yeah, well, I myself don't have the charm for it. Olivia would.
All right. So so the plan's there. So where to first then? I guess. You said you want to talk to the members of the family members. So how do you know who you're going to talk to first?
I think the foreman Joni went missing. They mentioned, our employer mentioned that he has a young daughter. Maybe at the police station they would know where his family lives,
Okay.
or our employer might know where they live.
Totally.
Can you describe those people in detail?
Yeah. We can do that.
Okay.
All right. So
First, we will go to the police station. This is my suggestion. You don't have to do it. First, we'll go to police station, and you guys will give the description. It's not much, but it's the details so they can push their investigation further. Then we're going to go and talk to the owner to try and get some additional information before we go talk with the family.
Yeah, if anything, we could do it under the guise of harassment.
You could.
That way, it'd be plausible and plausible deniability for us. After all, they were kind of harassing her.
So, I'm not overly I can introduce you to someone, one that will be willing to listen, but when I just see that the police is beyond exhausted right now.
Fair enough. Like I said, this is me out of character and like using what I know to make sure we don't necessarily get tracked back to, so it doesn't trace back to us, or at least take longer for that to happen.
I'm surprised they didn't already.
Well, I meant more like that I snitched on them, basically.
Please don't tell me you're hoping to get information and try to go and confront them.
No. No, like I said, I'm just trying to do it from Olivia's point of view. Like, oh, her men in blue will be able to help us out.
Suppose we should get our ass in the gear.
Yeah, so go to the police station, give our statements about the men outside the factory, then go to one of the missing people's families.
All right, so where to?
Daniel's police contact, give the general information, then first.
Okay, so the police station.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so you guys head back to the police station. You guys get to the police station, and you're there. You open the door. Policeman is this time around when you arrive sitting down and sleeping. And so policeman goes, what do you guys do?
Well, my friend here wants to talk about something.
Excuse me?
So is that
Like, she's just, like, gently tapping him.
who's the police officer?
Yep,
Yeah.
police officer sleeping.
And so I'm just, like, tapping. Like, excuse me.
All right, police officer. Yeah, he wakes up. It's like, whoa, whoa, what's going on? Hey, are you escaping? What are you,
Why would I'm here to file a complaint?
Anderson? Are they with you? What kind of crime they committed? You bring them in?
No. They have, they asked me to bring him here because they have a complaint of some sort. He would lean forward. The complaint might actually be connected with a
Like, all right, well, What's going on? I was in the middle of a very important moment of meditation, trying to gather my concentration again because we're dealing with a hard situation here. What's going on?
And I was walking past the
Fisherman's Nest. That's the name of the other factory, correct?
Okay.
Yeah. And 5 men were asked me to go aside, acting suspicious, as if I'd done something. And
Did
she
you
would
did
give
you
an-
just come
give
to
some
tell a
de-
tale about something that is not even a crime?
They were. I felt they were harassing me, and they were talking about moving things, factories being too hot. I don't know.
Ma'am, does your husband know that you're here right now?
He's dead.
What happened to him?
He was drafted.
Okay. And
Listen,
I am very sorry that he died, ma'am. But you know what? Drowning your sorrows with imaginary hallucinations of people just coming to talk to you because maybe they find you attractive and you getting scared about it. It's not necessarily, warrant to go to the police and just, you know, interrupting a police officer's concentration moment in which they're gathering all their mental force to try to be able to deal with this crime situation that we got going on.
I just looked at Anderson like, are you sure that he's one to be? Is he actually a cop?
Oh yeah,
Like,
he very much is. And even if he's someone sometimes doesn't act like one, he is one of the better cops in the Arkham.
should
He looks at
I like whisper like,
at Anderson's like, Anderson, what do you want, man? I mean, come on. What's happening right now?
like as
Okay.
as he's saying that, I'm like whispering in his ear like, what exactly should I tell them?
Okay, let me put the simplest way to talk about it. These people were hired recently by the owner of the factories to do research, to investigate the situation.
Okay.
They encountered successful 2 members of the, according to the information we just got, called the cult. That are possibly responsible for disappearances of people and rather unnatural changes in their behavior.
That sounds complicated. What? Okay.
I would advise to just get someone to keep an eye on that place.
I wanna say that I completely understand and I know where you're coming from, Anderson. And out of all the respect that I have for you from years and years of being in the force, I get where you're coming from. However, I do have to ask you the main question that anyone else will ask you, and that is, what kind of proof do you have?
I basically regaled them of what exactly I overheard.
That's not true, unfortunately.
What, I mean, did they?
I mostly want you to be aware what you're doing, so in case something happens, you're gonna have a stop.
Did they physically harm you in any way?
They tried to grab at me.
Did they grab you? They physically touched you.
Yes.
And you were by yourself?
Uh, no, Mr. Beckman here was kind enough to help me out.
So, Mr. Beckman, did you see this lady being grabbed against her will by a group of gentlemen?
Peter's gonna give you an apologetic look. Unfortunately,
Unfortunately, no. She's a bit hysterical. We're very sorry to interrupt you. The foreman that went missing. Do you know where his wife lives? I think the two maybe could console each other.
Okay. All right. So you just want some information. So you woke me up for some information. He says, ultimately, this has nothing to do with 5 people. What is going on? How, lady? I get that your husband is dead, but you know, there's medication and there's a perfectly good asylum over here in town that can help you out. And if you need any other kind of assistance, then there's plenty of men that can assist you. Other than that, please don't try to get men in trouble that have not done anything to you. And she says, look, just because you told me the truth and you came out clean, I'm gonna go get you the information. I'll be right back. And he just goes inside. He comes back with the address. And he's like, okay, so this is the address of the family members from the last 3 victims that were abducted. It's like,
thank you.
anything
sir.
else?
We'll leave you to your meditation.
Thank you. Yes, I do have to continue practicing. It's been a long 24-hour shift for me, and I'm just trying to gather all my mental force to not to bring this lady in and arrest her for lying to a police officer. Anderson, I'm a little shocked at the company you held. I mean, other than this fine gentleman over here, they should probably be an FBI agent for all I know. You're wandering around with hysterical women. What has come down from you? What has happened?
Remember that situation a few months back when there were a lot of really weird people dying?
Did you get her pregnant? Is that what you're about to tell me?
I slap him. I'm tempted to slap him just for saying that.
Okay, before we lock both of you in the asylum, how about we go?
I'm like, look, Anderson, just keep it in your pants, okay? Please keep it in your pants. I know that it's very tempting, but keep it in your pants. All right.
Ain't no fun in the pants, don't worry.
If you don't need anything else, please don't come back. Thank you.
Of course. Sorry for bothering you.
Yeah. And he just goes back and sits down, and we are going to stop right now. Because it's 10 o'clock.